Hello, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Apologies for the delay. I hope you guys can all hear me.
We have issues with the listening.
Okay, great. I saw a thumbs up, so it means online audience can also see us. Because it's a hybrid event and we are waiting for audience to show up in the in-person meeting. So we'll start the session in 4 minutes from now. So grab a cup of coffee or water or tea, whatever you feel like, and we'll resume the meeting in 4 minutes. Thank you. All right. So it's 10 minutes past 11 here, and we can give it a start now. I can already apologize for you in advance because, as I said, it's a hybrid meeting. Online audience and in-person audience cannot see each other. So that's a bit of a technical challenge. But if any person who is present online has an emerging question, please raise your hand. We'll repeat the housekeeping rules in a minute. But if you would like to introduce yourself later on, we can definitely do that. And the in-person audience can see you, but not vice versa. So apologies for that. I'll let our moderator of the session, Sabina, take the floor, and then we'll continue the session. So over to you, Sabina.
All right, welcome. For
Can you hear us now? Okay, perfect. So yeah, could you start now? Thank you.
Okay, do I have to unmute myself here?
No, I've already taken care of.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I hope you know me now. You can hear me now. We're at the Synergy Days in Barcelona talking about the onboarding of African innovation hubs. I have a few housekeeping rules to say before we start on the content. That is, since you cannot be here in person, use the chat for the networking with your peers. Put your name and your hub in there. You can ask Q&A questions to the speaker, or you can ask them through the chat. And online participants will receive slides and link to the webinar recordings via a follow-up mail afterwards. We are from the INCiTiS project. We provide African citizens with affordable, safe, and nutritious food in an equitable way through integrated circular technologies. And then you have to think about aquaponics, hydroponics, or insect farming. I'm quite sure a lot of people on the web know them. The project has 24 partners in 14 countries in Europe and Africa. This is our reality. We're almost always hybrid. We always have most of the people somewhere in the world dropping in and out of webinars because the links are not stable, and interacting through means mostly WhatsApp and sometimes email and webinars. Well, the project tries to develop sustainable business model for local innovation ecosystems, and there are going to be 2 open calls. There are 8 living labs in Africa, which provide digital and physical innovation spaces. And well, yeah, this is our reality right now. We would like to talk a bit more about the onboarding of African innovation hubs. We see there's a growing and prosperity system out there. We have a young tech-savvy population, and they're mastering the digital challenges that there are right now. We will tell more about that later. The workshop will focus on the importance of co-designing the African innovation ecosystems, because we noticed that a lot of things are going in different ways. We're doing this workshop together as Wageningen research, together with GIZ, in particular the Make IT Africa initiative, and a Globe Development Center in Nigeria. For most of the work, we're using also the Smart Agri-Hubs platform. So you see, hopefully in the next couple of years, even more digital innovation hubs coming up on the African space. As you see, compared to the European space, the African space is still a little bit lonely, and this is what we want to change. And we're going to tell more about that in the follow-up of this presentation. This is the agenda for today. We're going to have a presentation of the Smart Agri-Hubs onboarding activities we're doing right now. Then we're going to have Alex from Nigeria presenting the onboarding and specialization book for African digital innovation hubs. And we have Abiola, also from Nigeria, with a best practice example. And then there's room for Q&A and some final words.
Perfect. Thank you, Sabina. So I'll take over now from Sabina. So allow me a minute. Meanwhile, I share my slides. So online people, you will only see my slides, but people present in room can actually see everything what's happening on my screen. So I have to be a bit careful. So if I'm taking a bit longer, I'm also the technical host of the meeting, so I have to work around. Okay, I guess this is the right presentation. Slides are loading. Apologies for that. Give me a minute. Someone from online audience can please confirm, is the text readable for you?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So as we know, the topic of today that we are going to talk about the onboarding of digital innovation hubs, current challenges, opportunities, best practices, what we have been learning so far, and what's the future for us. So as Sabina mentioned that we are here at Synergy Days in Barcelona, representing INCiTiS-FOOD project in this workshop, because it's originally linked with Smart Agri Hub. So I'll give you a brief introduction about Smart Agri Hub. I'm aware most of us are aware about the platform, its portal and forum, but just of a recap so that we make sure that everyone is at the same page. And then we'll talk about what are the functionalities of the portal forum and how you can harvest the value from the platform. What challenges we have observed so far because of the nature of the platform and the current actors we are working with, and what is the way forward and a call to action accordingly. So Smart Agri Hub, as we are aware, it's a project originated from Horizon 2020, funded by European Commission. Project officially ended in 2022, but the legacy continued. That's why we are here. And it's a hub or a platform, I must say, where all the European digital innovation hubs are present. So because of its nature that it was originated in Europe, it has now expanding, and the platform is a global platform who for the actors who are digital innovation hubs and want to be onboarded on the platform. The exclusive proposition of the platform is to support digitalization in agriculture and try to connect the dots between farmers, researchers, and innovators. So yeah, main idea is to support the business, to grow the network, scale those entrepreneurial opportunities which are focusing on digital innovations, and then try to also find the sustainability around the business model for them. Why we are talking about Smart Agri Hub and its global presence. Reason being, when we say it's a global platform at the moment, it's visible, which is from the slide right now. There are around 4,000 active users on the platform, around 1,000 organizations are a part of it. There is a really strong digital footprint on the social media, which is we require in the digital age. So this is indeed a platform which is the core proposition to bring the actors together and then share the best practices to scale their knowledge and information so that ultimately the business can scale. Okay, I see a text message that someone cannot see my slide. Is that for everyone or is it just one person? Can someone please write in chat? Or just unmute the microphone, those who can. Are my slides visible? Okay, perfect. So some people can see. I hope those who cannot try to work around, then I hope it works out for you. If it doesn't work out, to all the online participants, as a follow-up to the webinar, I will share the webinar recording and all the slides which we are presenting today as a follow-up email. So you will definitely get all the resources. So do not worry about if you have access to the slides or not. So again, Smart AgriHub Innovation Portal. So when we say global platform, here on the screen, you can see that because of its nature, originated in Europe. Most of the digital innovation hubs are present in Europe, but now it's all scale is visible globally. For INCiTiS project, we are focusing in Africa. So the presence is there. We can see that the living labs of INCiTiS are present. They have started onboarding digital innovation hubs. And when I say digital innovation hub, then these are organizations who have networking with different associations focusing on digital innovation. But indeed, there are challenges because different geographies have different requirement, socioeconomic challenges. So we really have to work on this together, that how can we make the onboarding smooth? How can we make sure that the stakeholders are able to interact, share the best practices, share the knowledge, so that ultimately business model can be scaled. So the platform, those who are not aware about it, you need to first create your account. So on the top right, you can see that I am logged in. So you have to create your account once you are logged in via your organization, because that's your identity, a part of your identity. Then you will have access to the portal, and then your organization can network with our other organizations as well. INCiTiS-FOOD is one of the major project which is visible on the platform. So on the toolbar on the left side, you can see that INCiTiS-FOOD is visible, and the logo you see green color in Africa. These are the project living labs which are deployed there in Africa for now. So this was a brief introduction about Smart AgriHub, its portal, and INCiTiS-FOOD and its presence on Smart AgriHub portal. The project started last year, and the activities of onboarding digital actors started last year, December as well. It has been a turbulent process, I must say, because of different challenges. And what these challenges are, I will briefly touch base on that, that why it is difficult to onboard, first of all. Indeed, limited digital infrastructure and slow internet is the major challenge. Most actors in Africa work with WhatsApp or using MS Teams or websites or Zoom on their mobile phone. And if they have to do that via laptop, they require a larger bandwidth, and that becomes a challenge. But also getting used to digital infrastructure is a challenge in general. Onboarding them on platforms like Smart AgriHub indeed is a big challenge because of lack of knowledge and awareness, what needs to be done, how it needs to be done. So we require training for that. We have been providing training. I see someone raised a hand. If that is related to a question, please wait because we have a Q&A round at the end of the presentation. But if there is anything emerging, then please enter that in the chat. About limited viewpoint for business as usual, reason being our actors, living labs working in Africa, they require grant and funding-based projects. So unless and until there is an immediate monetary gains, it becomes a challenge for actors to be onboarded and to have a sustainable networking, at least. Scaling the business comes second. First, we have to sustain the networking. So that indeed becomes a challenge. But there's also quite hierarchical approach. Actors already have a lot on their plate, day-to-day activities. And on top of that, if they have to start something new from scratch, they would require permission from their manager or their boss. And unless and until it's all arranged, it is a challenge we see. So this is about the living labs or the local innovation actors, but also the digital innovation hubs, those who already are working in the industry, who are focusing on digital innovations, even they are struggling. And then I'm pretty sure Alex in his presentation will also touch base on that. So digital innovation hubs in Africa are also struggling, and basically it's related to how to specialize and how to be more professional. So this is the core proposition of Alex's slide. So I'll not talk much about it because otherwise it might be an overlap of information. And also, if there is an ecosystem already there, the maturity of the ecosystem, the indicators are missing. How can we make sure that the onboarding is there, the networking is there, the knowledge sharing is there, but what's the maturity assessment model behind that? So that is the challenge which digital innovation hubs struggle with. So of course, we are aware of the challenges. We are aware of how can we convert these challenges into opportunities. And what are these opportunities for now is to enhance digital networking, is to enhance the product and services available. And here I refer to Smart Agri Hub product and services, so the forum and the portal, and use other tools which are available from Smart Agri Hub, but also other digital platforms. So whatever I have mentioned so far, it's not in theory. We have validated the results from people working on the ground. So in previous workshops, we spoke with our actors, and then we did a survey. There were people coming from 20 plus organizations who filled in the survey. And on the left, you can see the statements, and on the right, you see the pie chart with the percentage starting clockwise. So indeed, most actors, 25% agree that they require grant-based funding or they require immediate monetary gains. Unless and until they see those gains, it's really difficult for them to focus on digital innovations and start something new. And it's also quite hierarchical. So unless and until it's coming from the top level, it's really difficult for the actors to start from bottom up. But what's interesting for me is point D, which 18% of people agreed that new knowledge is not a priority, which I found quite insightful. Reason being, they already have a lot on their plate and there's a lot to be taken care of. But unless and until we change our mindset on how can we prioritize new knowledge, it will remain a challenge. Next, we see for digital innovation hubs in digital ecosystem. Again, on the left side, the bulletin points, but also on the right side, the pie chart. Slow internet, indeed, the challenge. We are going clockwise. So 21% people agreed. The most interesting point on this slide is point B, which I must say most people said that we have limited digital infrastructure, and 39 people mentioned that. But I will come back to this point in a minute. What my experience is in working in digital industry is infrastructure is not the major challenge. Finding the ways to adapt to that infrastructure is the way forward. So that we would like to also focus in the following slides. And of course, another important part is we do not know where and how to find the stakeholders we have to work with, where to find these stakeholders who have knowledge about digital innovations. 15% of the people answered for that. So now, when I say that we have to change our thought process, because if we say new knowledge is not a priority, well, we all live in a digital world. Originally from Netherlands, sitting here in Spain, talking to actors here in Africa. So world is not huge anymore, it's small. And digital media is the way forward. And the only way to stay connected in this digital world is your visibility. So unless and until you have a strong presence on the portal, unless and until you have a strong visibility of the activities you are doing, use forum, share the information, what is being currently done at your living lab, your visibility will always be a challenge. Then people say that I'm not sure where to find these people because maybe they don't have a website or maybe they don't have enough staff to work with that. But then ask a question to yourself, do you really want to work with those actors who do not have the skills and competence you require? There are platforms, I'm talking about Africa right now, where they have all the competencies we require. So there are high value partners which you can partner up with. There is this platform called Digital Agri Hub. You can land onto their portal and to the dashboard. I can already mention for Kenya, there are 200 plus organizations working only on the digital portfolios. For Nigeria, it's 100 plus organization. And for all the living labs, there are actors visible on their dashboard. So these are the high value partners you need to get in touch with. So also change a bit of a mindset that do you really want to work with people who do not have the competence, or you really look forward to finding those high value partners and where to find them, we are here to help you with that. But also ask a question to yourself, do the SWOT analysis of you and the actors you want to work with. What are your strengths and weaknesses, and what are the opportunities and threat? Unless and until you are clear about where do you lack and what skill do you actually have, you will always struggle to enhance your visibility. And make sure that when we say grow together, then it also goes for us. I am learning every single day what are the best ways to work with partners deployed in different countries while considering the socio-economic challenges. So we have to grow together. And then what are the knowledge and information about it? You can definitely get that from Smart AgriHub portal. So Digital AgriHub, as I mentioned, is the platform where you can get in touch with all the high-value stakeholders. But also they have the forum where exclusively for at least Africa, there are 2,000 plus actors who have the expert knowledge and are waiting for you to get in touch with them. And then you can have a dialogue and gain the knowledge which you require. So this was the short-term benefit. Long-term benefit, of course, once you are able to sustain the networking, then it comes the popular open calls, the two different type of open calls we have. So really talk to yourself that where to find these high value partners. And once you have networking with them, then engage with them for the open calls, etc. And then indeed, they will be interested in also to work with you in short term and long term. So networking is the way, sharing your knowledge and information is the way, and only then you will be able to sustain and scale your business model. And local innovation actors can ultimately scale and replicate the business model you are developing at the Living Labs. And lastly is the maturity assessment model. As I was mentioning initially, that what are the indicators? How can we make sure that what we are doing is the right way of doing it? So on Smart AgriHub portal and the platform, you can find the assessment tool. If you are not aware of that, please feel free to get in touch with me, and then we can work on that together. And then, but this is step 7. We are at step 3 right now, which is onboarding actors and having a strong local innovation ecosystem. Once the ecosystem is established, only then we can assess it. My second last slide, I stole it actually from Made in Africa initiative, which Alex is going to talk about after me. When we say digital innovation hubs, Living Labs usually struggle to find them, and they struggle what are the skills they require and how to get in touch with them. So these are few of the digital innovation hubs which are deployed in Africa right now, and the skills they have and the expertise they have. So these are professional platforms you can get in touch with. If you like, yeah, you can go to the AWNet. The logo is visible on the slide on the top right, or Alex will also touch base on that. And then we are here to provide you the information you require, but make sure it's a task for the Living Labs because we have to onboard at least 20 digital innovation hubs. So Living Labs do take the ownership for that, and we can always guide you what is the way forward for that. So I think I can take a pause for now because these were my slides. Thank you very much for listening me. I'll unshare my slide, and then I'll hand over the virtual floor to Alex.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks. Over to you, Alex.
Sure. And then let me share my slides also. And here we are. And then let me know if you can see it with a thumbs up or.
We can see your slides.
Great. Yeah. Morning again. Morning once again for everyone following us in person in Barcelona and on Teams as myself. So I'm Alex Calvin Betty. I'm the technical advisor at GIZ based in Ghana, in Accra, and working on the Make IT in Africa initiative as ecosystem innovation ecosystem manager. And it's a great pleasure for me today to be with you sharing about specializations and opportunities for Digital Innovation Hub. And for today, we are talking about a playbook tool that you can use to drive your organizations. And I want to take you through the different challenges. I mean, we had covered 10 challenges, 10 specific and major challenges that helps feast in their day-to-day activities, but then the 5 here are the most important one, and in there have mentioned few of them. And I think the first one we need to know is running program with meaningful outcomes, because we are a hub, and one of the things that we do, or the main objectives that we have, is to support innovations, it will run program. So we need to run program with meaningful outcomes, and that's also comes from the focus that we want to have, and then which organization should we work with which DFI, which donors organization should we work with. So not just to run program because we need money, because donors are coming with their money, but then running program with that aligns with what we want to achieve, with the outcome, the impact we want to achieve on our local ecosystem. And that has been a big challenge for a lot of hubs to focus on. The second one is to create and manage a pool of experts. So a lot of hub only have their staff, but then they also have few consultants, but they don't have a big pool of experts, of mentors, of coaches. They don't have a network. In the mention about it in the network, who do you want to work with, which organization, which company do you want to work with. So you need to create that pool, and then you need to manage that relationship, so that when you are running your program, you can leverage your network, you can leverage the expert you are having in-house and outside. Even those consultants that you are working with, they can give you great technical support, great financial support, great relationship or network support to better support your innovation, your entrepreneur, your startups in your hubs. And from strategic planning to implementation, this is also a huge gap. Like what do you plan, what do you see yourself in 5 years, where do you see yourself in 2 years, who do you see yourself partnering with, who do you see yourself working with in the ecosystems, and then how do you achieve that, how do you get there. So the implementation it's something that needs to be linked, and it has to go with everything. So that's also a big challenge that a lot of hubs, a lot of organization has, because they don't plan ahead of what they really want to achieve, and this is also a lack of focus. So, and the fourth one is adapting indicators and reporting. So it's not just running programs, it's not just supporting organizations. And sometimes when you take donors' money, when you take DFI's money to run program, you have a lot of indicators, you have a lot of reporting that you need to do. That's why it's crucial for you to run the program with meaningful outcomes, because you know what you want to achieve, you know from your strategic planning, the implementation that you need to do, you know from your network, the people that are in, and then what you need to do. So at the end of the day, this is your indicators. You adapt to them, and then you also adapt your reporting, and then it's easy, because a lot of hubs struggle with administrative works, because at the end of the day, they have a lot of paper work, a lot of administrative work compared to operation, compared to delivering the program itself, because all of the donors have their own requirements, have their own specifications, have their own demand, and it's a lot. That's why you also need to really focus on what you want to achieve. And then the last thing is adjusting messaging and activities to attract funding. So don't go for every funding that is out there, but what is really relevant for you, because all of them lead to specializations. This was a big topic for us at Make IT in Africa and at ADeepNet. That's why the format of the Digital Innovation Hub has been created, set up as specializations. So we have digital innovation hubs in smart city, digital innovation hubs in agric tech. You have digital innovation hubs in health tech. It's very specialized, because you need to focus, you need to specialize in something, and you need to adjust your message, you need to adapt your activities attract funding. So there's a lot of things going on in our local ecosystems, a lot of activities happening, but then the message is not there, but then the communication is not there. We don't see it, right? We are based in Ghana and in Germany. Sometimes there are ecosystems that we don't know. For Nigeria, for example, is a bit easy because there's a lot of tractions on in the spotlight on Nigeria, but then there are also ecosystems that are nascent, that are very small, that we don't really have traction from there. Like if we talk about Niger, you talk about Mauritania, Guinea, you talk about other East Africa country, you will not see them, right? So you need to work on your messaging. You need to work on how to deliver the stories, the impact stories of your activities, the people you support, the innovation you support. So this is also a big thing you need to do to attract funding. And it's not just applying to or sending grant proposal, but people need to see you out there. And then even when they are doing the research about you, they need to see what you have been done on the local ecosystem. So this is a summary of the big challenges that we are having aside the operational day-to-day challenges with internet connectivity, with team, with funding, all of these things. But then if these are things that you need to work on, and the playbook itself also cover other challenges, other big questions that you may have, and then give you tool and solutions to solve them. So these are the different tools and solutions to solve them. So as I mentioned, we have 10. I just spoke about the 5 biggest one, but then understanding the need and market demand. You are already specialized, you already know your market, but then you need to confirm what your market demand. So the second one is leveraging your strength and expertise. In that mention about the assessment, your SWOT analysis, then this is like where you need to know your strength and then your expertise. So that you don't do everything, but do what you know, what you are capable of, and to not lose track at the end. And then the 10th is ecosystem development for the long run. So these are success factor for you to thrive, right? So we covered them into 10 success factor. You can go with each of them based on the question you have, based on the challenges that you have. If it is recruiting quality participants, if it is upskilling your internal team and understanding the sector, if it is securing funding and partners for specializations for what you want to do, then you go for it, and then you go through the different tools, the different template that we gave you. You do some exercise, and then you assess yourself and you plan from it. You plan from it. It's a living document, is a living tool that you need to work with, and then plan with it for your organizations. And I will leave you with that short video that explain a bit, start to summarize the handbook.
Alex, is there any audio or is it just the infographics?
There's an audio. Wait.
Unfortunately, we cannot hear the audio.
Oh, you cannot hear the audio. Sorry. Let me see if I can.
Can you hear it?
I can hear you, but we cannot hear the sound of the. Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. I mean, let this flow because it's just a background music, but then everything was this. And you have the PowerPoint and the video also.
Yes, now we can hear it. Yeah.
Sure. So that was just a short animation video talking about the playbook and how to use it. So it covers 10 success factors that you need to achieve, and then you can go through by questions that you have, or you can go through all the 10 success factors. And first things to do, I think, which is crucial for you, as Inde mentioned about your SWOT analysis. I think that's the basis. You need to assess yourself. And then we have a very great tool that have been developed by another organizations called the ESO Avatar. So it's like ESO ABC, and it's an adaptation of the Village Capital's well-known benchmarking framework for entrepreneurs. So you do it for yourself with 10-minute assessments where you go through 8 categories and then you assess. So that will give you a snapshot of your perhaps level of professionalizations. So how can you see yourself? How can you push yourself? How can you project yourself? What are your weaknesses? What are your strengths? So that you can leverage on your strengths and then work on your weaknesses. So you don't go for any capacity building program, any trainings, because you already have a lot of training. Then if you do your assessment, you know your weakness, you know what training you need, and then you know your expertise, so you know what to sell from yourself. And that will be very, very, very great for you to better deliver service to entrepreneurs, to innovations, and then to also position yourself in the local ecosystem. So you also have the link is azo.abaca.app/entrepreneurs, and you can go through the assessment. It's a self-assessment, very, 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 very great user experience that you can do for yourself. Think this is the end of my presentations. Thank you very much. And the link to download the playbook, you can go to the Mega IT in Africa website and then go to the download sessions. When you get that PowerPoint, then you can click directly on the download link and then download the playbook and to work with it. Print the tool, print the templates, print the framework, and then work on it with your teams and then see how it can help you. So yeah, so thank you very much. Then hand it over to Inde for the opportunity of the panel.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Alex, for the great insight and also for showing us the playbook. First, a recap of the housekeeping rules. I was getting some messages on WhatsApp, but also in the chat. So do not worry, all the resources I will share with you. And also those who registered for the event but could not manage to show up. I will share all the resources with you as a follow-up to the email. So do not worry about that. You will get everything. If you have any questions for Alex, I know he's a very busy man. He might not have time for you to answer all your questions as a follow-up later on, but we still have 40 minutes left in this meeting. So please utilize the time and use the Q&A functionality here you see in the webinar. Ask your question to Alex in Q&A, and he will be more than happy to answer. If there are more questions and you would like to verbalize it, we could definitely do so after the presentation of Abiola. So we have last speaker in the row today, Abiola. I just want to double check with Abiola if with the connectivity, it's working all right with him. Abiola, would you mind trying sharing your screen? And if it doesn't work, let me know, then I can try to share your slides.
I will just have you share the screen.
Okay, then give me a minute.
I will,
I'll find your slides and I'll share it in a minute. As I said, that I'm sharing my entire screen here, so everyone can see what I'm doing on the screen. So I need to be a bit careful with that. And okay, almost there.
And while we are waiting, if there are any questions for Alex on the onboarding or specialization book, please put them in the chat and we can already discuss them now. Any questions here?
Okay, so the slides are open. Let me try to share my screen. Okay, so here are the slides of Abiola. Let me minimize this, put it on the PowerPoint mode. Yes, over to you, Abiola. Can you hear us, Abiola?
Yes, I can hear you now. Thank you, Inda.
Okay.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning once again, everyone. My name is Abiola. I'm a researcher and ethics manager at IGLOB Development Center. It's a pleasure having been with you here. So, Inda, go on. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Okay,
can hear
good.
you.
Yeah.
The slides are rolling.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So at ADC, we are one of the host of INCiTiS-FOOD Living Lab, where we fabricated recirculating aquaculture system and also aquaponics. This system are integrated food production system which recycles fish waste water through filtration and vitrification, allowing plants to uptake the nutrients from the water. Additionally, at IGLOB, we have BSF prototype where we raise larvae, we produce larvae for feed supplements, and also the frass from this production is used in our aquaponics systems. Also, we have a small prototype of snailry, liticulture, where we have two species of snail, Achatina marginata and Achatina fulica. Next slide, please. Next slide, Inda.
Yes, we are on the next slide already.
It's not coming up. Okay, thanks. Other projects IGLOB is participating on is the food safety for Africa. Food safety for Africa is addressing food challenges in the African informal sector through innovative strategies and the use cases. ADC is taking charge of the use case 3. Use case 3 is about safety and healthy vegetable and fish production through online platform and mobile communication. What we do here is we promote knowledge enhancement and facilitate access to essential infrastructure. On the project, we guarantee the safety of water used in the recirculating aquaculture system for both fish and plants. When product is harvested from this system, this product undergo testings and certification before being used as food. Also, in these on these particular projects, when the products from here, when being purchased, there is a QR code on our packaging where consumers can and get access to a where consumers can and get access to a survey. The survey is about consumer perception of food safety. Next slide, please.
The slide has been changed already, Abiola.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, thanks. IGLOB and our fishes now using the digital innovation platform, which is the Smart Agri Hub. One of the things we do here to onboard our fishes is focusing on the right information. What we do here is we check the relevance of our fishes to what we are doing. Then after this, we create a relationship with them. Then we make sure they have their understanding of what the innovation portal is all about. Then after this, how do we accomplish bringing our fishes on board? The first thing we do is we complete our profile. Our profile, we make it visible on the platform. After we do that from ADC, then we try as much as we can to get our fishes onboarded. Then after that, we establish a connection because obviously we have a relationship with the things we are doing together. So we created a connection with each other on the platform. Then we form a partnership. We established a partnership with them. So doing this, there are other benefits or advantages we have been able to create together. For instance, on the other projects we are currently, which is the food safety for Africa, we are currently working with our fishes on food production, fishery in particular. Next slide, Ina.
Yep, the slide has changed.
Okay, this is how apologies about my pictures, is not too visible from the slide. So how we placed ourselves on Smart Agri Hub, the first thing we do is not just having the platform to do only, oh, okay, we have our fishes onboarded and we are doing, we have a kind of partnership with them. We also use the platform to communicate and have information on the global level. For instance, on the first picture here, that's how a global profile is on the platform. Using this platform, also on INCiTiS projects, we have some technical issues we are facing in our living lab. So it is easier for us through using the communication platform. So challenges we face in our living lab, we try and see how we can get help using this platform. So from there, some of the challenges we face in the living lab is, for instance, we have issues when we had roots decaying in our deep water culture system. After we're able to find a solution to it, we posted it on the platform and we are communicating on the global level. We get solutions from some of the problems we face too, and others were able to learn from what we do, some of our best practices in our living lab here. Next slide, Ina. What's the next step for us now? We are also looking at bringing on or having partnership with other digital innovation hubs. Some of these digital innovation hubs we are looking at is Innovatech and Lolipi Agri-Food. While choosing all of this, while focusing all of this on these two digital innovation hub at the moment, realize that on the projects we are presently, there are a lot of advantages and other things we feel we can bring on board. For instance, Innovatech Nigeria, they focus on ICT and web and software developers. That's what they do then. Then Lolipi is an agri research, an animal scientist and food processor also. We are currently doing business with them. And how do we intend to do all of this? Just the same way we did with Art Fisheries. We complete the profile for them, then at the same time we create connection and start doing stuff together. Next slide, Linda. Yeah, this is just a slide of the team at A Globe Development Center. As you can see from the top left, is Emmanuel Benjamin. Is a technical advisor at A Globe Development Center, and my other colleagues here. Yep. Next slide, in that's. So, thank you.
Thank you, Aviola.
Thank you so much. So I unshared my screen. So yeah, these were the round of the speakers and the content we had to discuss with you. So I started more what's happening in theory, what we have learned, and then Alex mentioned what's happening in general about different digital innovation hubs, their struggle with professionalization, and how can you work and grow together, first doing your own SWOT analysis and then doing SWOT analysis of the organization you have to speak with. And then Abiola really touched base on building everything from ground. That's what I meant by changing the thought process, that unless and until you have a strong visible profile, the value actors will not come to you. So once you have a strong profile, you know how you onboarded yourself. Only then you can help other actors to be onboarded on the platform. And then the example of our fisheries he gave and the new digital innovation hubs, which are being planned to be onboarded. So I don't want to give information if it is already a part of your question. So now we have ample amount of time to answer your questions. Let me know if in case you would like to ask a question by verbalizing it, please raise your hand so I can unmute you, turn on your camera, and then you can ask question to any of the speakers, or feel free to use the chat functionality. So any emerging questions from our online audience?
While we're waiting for that, I think it's time to get the room in here as well. So, where are you from?
I'm a bit without voice, so
That's fine.
I work in Germany at the Agri-Food Change Management Group at Humboldt University of Berlin.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Ecuador,
Mm-hmm.
but I have interest in also in topics such as digitalization in Africa, and I have worked in the cocoa sector in Cote d'Ivoire. So yeah, I really don't have a question, but thank you for the presentations.
Yeah. And what was your interest in Africa? From cocoa? Yeah.
Originally, I was working more in the topic of development of agri-food value chains, so from the social perspective. So, and originally my first project was in Madagascar for understanding market access of smallholder farmers. I came to this workshop because I was interested in the approaches of digitalization in Africa and how these agri-hubs work and relate also to the European ones. And this was my original approach from here.
Of curiosity. Yes, all right. Thank you. That's very interesting. We need to talk. I'm quite sure about that. There's some comments in there, but no particular questions so far. What are we going to do?
Yes, we have a question from the in-person audience. Yes, please.
Is look at digitalization in Africa. I know one of the key issues has been the cost of the digital system, not the digital system themselves, but operating the digital system. Look at the cost of internet. Look at the infrastructure maintenance. So I'm looking at how are you making this work, knowing that bundles are very expensive in Africa. So I'm looking at how are you managing this to get more penetration if it's more expensive to buy internet than to do something else, then this is not probably going as far as we want it to. So I want to get your perspective on it and how this is being managed.
That is a very good question. Inda, would you like to repeat the question so that we also...
Yeah, let me quickly double check from the online audience or our panelist. Alex, could you hear the question well, or do you want me to paraphrase it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you could hear the question well. Would you mind giving the input on that from your experience?
Yeah. I think, yes, the connectivity is a big issue in the local context. Like in the big city, you have good connectivity, quietly relative good connectivity. But there in the rural areas, in the far places, it is a big challenge, right? But people are still managing like how they can do it. If because for some countries, the government have been able to deploy some centers internet centers or IT centers, and then where people can go there and work or go there and do what they have to do. So what people does is to do what work from the reality, right? And then from the realities from some of the hubs is not work on tech-based stuff, is not work on tech innovation stuff. It's working on offline innovations, offline stuff. So USSD app and working on tangible products, on hardware, not software, right? So they adapt and then they do what works best for them. And when they go to the place where there's internet, then they upload or they do the other stuff, reporting, checking their mails, and then all the other things. But for them, they are there, and their innovations is not really tech heavy, but it's something changing the way they are doing things traditionally, changing, improving efficiency, improving quality, improving or making operation fast on how they do traditional things. And that is how they are able to strive. And that is how they are able to make results and achieve their success.
Did that answer your question, or do you have a follow-up for Alex?
Well, yeah, maybe because yes, I get the connectivity side, but I'm also concerned about I get that some are offline, which means it would not require internet. But if you look at a lot of the digital tools that are being developed, that are being deployed, they are internet reliant. And so if you're deploying these kinds of tools that rely on internet and internet is expensive, then the long-term maintenance or operationalization becomes a problem. So that's what I want to see what's happening with that.
Yeah. I think it has been adapted. I will take two scenario, two examples from what we have done in Ghana. So in Ghana, the government have some centers called IT centers, ITC, and community CIC, Community Innovation Center. And in those community innovation center, they are in rural area where governments have deployed broadband, and then we came in as GIZ to also set up some server, local server, and with contents in it. So those contents are solutions that people need for their day-to-day activities or that should be work, but they cannot access the real software or the real stuff from online with internet. So since they don't have internet, we work with other consultants to create alternative solution or alternative software for them that they can use in that with that server. And so people will go to the center and then log on the server and then use it for their stuff. So it has helped the government to deploy their e-services. So people don't have to log in internet to do their registration, their certificate, all of these things. They go to that server because the content have been deployed there. Then they use it, they access it, and then they do whatever they have to do. So a lot of things has been adapted. Yes, it's not everywhere, and we are still working on it. And the innovation hubs also in those rural areas are doing amazing stuff, helping people to get, and some of them they're running on grants. So to get the data to buy for broadband, to buy for internet. So they have been subsidized by donors, World Bank, GIZ, EU, Enabel, AFT, so that they can be able to do it. But then they're also working on business economics that will help them sustain and be able to continue their effort. So kudos for them for the great sacrifice that they have been making to get people connected.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep, thank you. I saw Julius had raised his hand. Julius, now you can unmute your microphone and can ask your question if you like.
Yeah, I just want to say big thank you to all the presenters. And I was thinking that this webinar was long overdue because it has shed more light on the benefits derivable from the smart agri ops. And I want to say a big thank you to you, Alex, for the way you said. One of the questions I have has been answered, and that has to do with internet connectivity. But I think, like you rightly mentioned, we are doing business. Coming on the smart agriculture is nothing but pure business, and it's meant for serious-minded people. So if you want to be known, you want to cascade information about what you do, I think you wouldn't allow anything to be a stumbling block to getting people to know what you do. Thank you, Inda, for also promising to share, because we belong to so many social group, and we do lead some local associations. So giving them this presentation will go a long way to shed more light, especially those who couldn't connect, maybe because of the fact that they do not have the know-how on how to, in the first place, to register. But sharing that to them will go a long way to also get them aware of what SAH is and the benefits that can be derived from SAH. Finally, Mr. Alex, I'm going to send my email to the Q&A. So I would like to continue to interact with you at this meeting. So thank you all, and God bless.
Thank you, Dr. Julius. Before I unmute Mr. Obola and he can ask his question, I see a question from Pacifica asking about onboarding actors who have already embraced digital technologies. So I guess, correct me if I understood your question wrong. Is it about finding these high value actors? When I say high value actors, then it does not mean that they have embraced digital technologies. But what I mean is that digital technology or digital innovation is actually the core focus of these organizations you need to get in touch with. And these are the high value actors. So the reference which I was giving of Digital AgriHub, that is a platform which is exclusively for agri-tech and digital innovation based global platform. But most of the solutions are actually deployed in Africa. And if you would like to know more about that, I'll be more than happy to get in touch with you to give information on that. So I'll unmute now, and Mr. Obola can ask his question. Mr. Obola, you can unmute yourself now, and you can ask the question. In case if you are still speaking, please make sure that you are unmuted, because you are muted right now. Okay, maybe it's a connectivity issue. I see a question from Dr. Sheila for Abiola. Dr. Sheila, would you like to write the question in chat, or do you want me to unmute you so you can ask a question? If the second case, then please raise your hand so I can unmute you. Okay, meanwhile, we are waiting for that. There's a question for Alex from George regarding digital bandwidth varying from 3G, some places also 2G to 5G for Africa in general. So how the bandwidth play a role in getting in touch with people?
Sure. Yeah. It's very variable depending on the places. So you have countries where people are talking 5G. You have countries where people are talking 3G, 4G. As I mentioned, it affects a lot what people are doing. But then they're still able to hack the system. They're still able to find their ways, like, because as as Mr. Julius said, you're in business, so right. So they are in business, and then they need to make things happen. They need to adapt and see what can happen. So they will not go and working on heavy stuff or download heavy stuff, working on full online software. But then they have tech guys who also hacking the system, like creating, adapting software for the offline people, creating or adapting software for those community. And now people are really intentional about rural areas where there's low connectivity. So they are deploying services that are very that don't require high broadband or bandwidth to connect to. And another example that we are doing also in Ghana with GIZ on the project called Digital Information Center Ghana. It's a user experience initiative whereby they are asking, they are recruiting a lot of apps, innovations that are being developed in Ghana, and to also test them in the rural areas where the internet connectivity is low, where the bandwidth is very limited, to see if they can easily access those apps and then give feedback to the developers, to the app owners to work on their apps, to adapt it to also the rural areas. So that user experience or user testing program is going to also create awareness on the fact that we have people in rural areas who have low access to and then who have difficulty access to internet, but they need to use your solutions. So see how you can work on, see how you can do it. So people are adapting, people are creating things. But then the challenge is there. Challenge is very there. It's unstable. So sometimes you are in the call and then you cannot really follow because you have breakdown, break lines. But then they try, they do their best to work on. It's not the ideal situation we want to, but then we are working on getting towards where we are going to, and still making business, still delivering the work.
All right, thank you, Alex. Mr. Oibola, I can give you the access of mic, but I cannot unmute you because that's a feature you have to access from your own device. You can unmute now and ask your question. Okay, if we are struggling with that, I would like to answer a question on behalf of Abiola because he's struggling with technical issues. The question is from Dr. Sheila, and it is about what incentives do you offer to digital innovation hubs to be onboarded? Well, I think it was already mentioned in the slide. It's the visibility, because we all want to get visible when it comes to our business. Same goes for digital innovation hubs. They are more eager to be visible than actually you, because you have the core skills, the competence for your platform, but not digital innovation hubs. They can use their social media to promote themselves. But of course, they need to find platforms like Smart Agri Hub where they get global visibility. So they will not only be visible in your local innovation ecosystem, but they will be visible globally. And the tools and services which are offered by Smart Agri Hub will allow them to also share the knowledge and information globally. So I think that's the biggest incentive which you can give to them. Okay, let me try to unmute Dr. Sheila because I guess she still has a question. So I'm trying to manually do that. Give me a minute. Dr. Sheila, could you raise your hand so I can find you? Because I'm struggling to find you right now manually. Okay, I see you now. And allow mic. Okay, now you have access to your mic. You can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Okay, thank you, Ida, and good afternoon, everyone. Now, my question is to Abiola, and this is what I am asking, yeah? Because you talked about part of the best practices is the link up with other digital innovations, of course, to give visibility, and as Ida has said, that has been explained. But the bit I want to ask, because he talked about, he gave 2 examples, I may not remember, but there was one, he mentioned that it deals with the software engineering. So my question is, have this embraced the technology or the business they have? Because I imagine that these are commercial enterprises. Is their business only to give the technology visibility, or have they also embraced this technology? I hope my question is clear.
Yes, I mean, it is for digital innovation hubs in general. I can speak on behalf of Smart Agri Hub, but maybe Alex has his insight on that.
Yeah, I think you can start. You can start. Yeah.
Abiola, can you do you have access to the chat, or you can speak? Is that possible?
Hello, Ida. Yeah, I can speak.
Yes, please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
I didn't
we can
get our
hear you.
last question, please. I didn't get our last
Sorry.
question. I'm really struggling with connections here.
Sorry.
I can hear you now.
Abiola, yeah, you can hear me, yeah?
Yes. Yes, I can hear
what
you
I'm
now.
asking, sorry. What I'm asking is, yeah, because in your slides, you pointed out to, I think, organizations that you work with as part of the best practices to give visibility to the work you are doing, yeah? So my question is, are these organizations, there's one that you talked of that is in something to do with software engineering. So the question is, have they also embraced the technology, or you only use them to give visibility to the work you are doing? And that's why I followed it with a question. If probably you're only using them to give visibility to the work you are doing, is there any incentive? That's a question.
Oh, if I get you correctly, that's InnovaTech. So InnovaTech, they are just a partner we just identified, and we are trying to bring them onto the portal. So presently, what we are working with them at the moment is just on the other food safety for Africa, whereby they develop the app and portal where we get information on the survey we are doing with food safety for Africa. So on having incentives with them through Smart Agri Hub, like Inda rightly said already, it's just their presence on the global level that is much like an incentive to them for coming onto the portal. So on them giving us visibility on the app, no, that's not what we are partnering with them with. So if that answers your question.
All right. I hope that answers your question, Dr. Sheila. If not, then please have a one-on-one discussion on that after the workshop. I'll try to wind up because we have only 5 minutes left. As I mentioned initially, that all resources I will share to you, those who are present here and those who are not present but also did register for the session. So all the resources, link, and recording will be shared with you. I'd like to thanks once again to Alex for his time, for being present here. I think it was really valuable. And as Julius mentioned, it was long overdue to really get insights on the ground. So we really appreciate your input. And I'll be more than happy to have any questions which you guys have for Alex to pass it on to him, or Alex Alex can also do it, vice versa, if that's feasible for you. But I don't want to overwhelm him with a lot of input from INCiTIS. So I'll try to filter it out if required. But of course, we'll try to also create synergies, because we are now in synergy days, to our African partners. So having said that, thank you very much, everyone, for being present today, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.